Hey guys, how is everybody? Happy Monday. Arden here. Welcome to the Pro Singer Success Collective. And in today's live, we are going to be talking about today how to stop overthinking and sing freely. How many of you feel that you are just all in your head when you sing, when you perform, when you audition, maybe even when you practice, that you're just in your head so much of the time? And it really sucks because, as you guys know, that I always say, your body can't do what your brain is sabotaging. And so, no matter how much technique you have studied, no matter how much you have practiced, if there is overthinking and spin of mind going on when you sing, practice, perform, audition, record, you're not going to get the sound that you want, and you know it. Because it doesn't feel as free. It doesn't feel as joyful. It doesn't feel as consistent. And you know that it's not the potential of the sound that you would otherwise make. So today, I'm going to give you 3 of my top mindset hacks to get your mind and your body on the same page with each other every time you sing. So the first most important idea here, I have something in my lip gloss, you guys. See, this is what happens when you're live. All right, there we go. Lip gloss malfunction taken care of. The first most important idea here, one of my top mindset hacks for getting mind and body to work together, is we have to reframe failure. We have to reframe failure because most of us are in that spin of our mind and all the overthinking because we don't want to fail. We don't want to feel judged. We don't want to embarrass ourselves. We don't want to do less than our potential. We don't want to lose what we have or not get what we want when it comes to what we're up to with our voice and our singing careers. And so we're most of us terrified of failing, of, the next 5 years, 10 years, looking exactly like where we are now and continuing to be plateaued and stuck and not being able to get those technique breakthroughs that we need, not being able to get the career breakthroughs that we need. And we don't want to fail at that because most of us, this is our passion. This is what we love. This is what the gift that we were given. This is what we were put on this planet to do. And so that idea of failing at the thing that we love the most, the gift that we feel like we were given and the purpose that we have, that fear of failing looms large. And so most of us are in the overthinking because we're just trying to figure out how not to fail. But all that spin, whether it's in the moment of how not to fail on the high note or of how not to crack in the long section of the hard part of the audition song or whatever it is, that's what creates all the overthinking and the machinating and all the weeds in the mind garden just overgrow in those moments. And it makes it really hard, as you know, to do the thing that you otherwise would do well. So how do we reframe failure? I have a lot of hacks and tricks and tools for this that we use with the singers in our intensive training program, but it all starts with this first idea, which I'm going to give you today, which is the idea of FAIL. The acronym for fail is first attempt in learning. FAIL, first attempt in learning. There is no fail. There is only learning. If you are not failing, you are not learning. You are not moving forward. You are not getting the data that you need to know how you get to fix and tweak and move forward and do something different the next time you shoot for the target, okay? And so if we assign failure a negative meaning, if we assign failure as a bad thing, then we will forever be overthinking in our head every time we sing for how to prevent that from happening. So we have to reframe failure as an opportunity, as a good thing. Failure is not something to be prevented. Failure is not something to be blocked. Failure is something to welcome. Failure is the thing that allows us to learn and to move forward. So the very first thing that we have to do to stop overthinking is this very first idea of reframing failure, that failure is good. That there really is no such thing as fail. It's just opportunity. It's opportunity. It's God in the universe tapping you on the shoulder, being like, hey, this is the thing that you get to work on to move forward so that next time you shoot, you get a different outcome. So if there is no such thing as fail, only opportunity. If there is no such thing as fail, only learning, then, I'm not so afraid to fall down. I'm going to welcome falling down because I know that's how I'm going to get to where I want to go. So now I'm not overthinking as much because I'm not trying to prevent myself from that experience because I'm not scared of it anymore, because it's not something that I have labeled and given the meaning of bad. It's not. We're reframing failure into something that is necessary and that is welcomed in order for us to get where we want to go. Okay, so that's the first mindset hack, reframing failure, FAIL. It is just the first attempt in learning. If you are not failing, you are not learning. And so we're just reframing failure into something that doesn't even exist. There is no fail, only opportunity. The second mindset hack that I love to help get out of your mind and stop overthinking and sing freely is the idea of going to the story. So really connecting and going to the story of your song. And I know all of you know you should be connecting to story in your song, but most of you, I'm just gonna say it, I'm just gonna call it tight here. Most of you connect at a very surface level with your songs, with the story and the meaning going on inside your songs. And you have not connected to it on a personal level. So go to the story. Look at what you're singing about. You know, if I've sung Amazing Grace 50,000 times, I mean, how many of us, right? We've heard Amazing Grace 1,000 times. If I have to perform Amazing Grace, and it's going to be a meaningful performance, and I'm not going to be in my head overthinking all the things about, that get me in the spin. If I'm going to connect, then I need to understand, what am I actually saying? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I mean, there are words we've heard a million times, but how does that apply to me? When in my life have I needed to let go and turn it over to something greater? The idea of grace, the idea of wanting to be rescued by something greater than myself. And I'm going to think, and I'm going to find, I'm going to remember something specific to my experience. And I might journal it out. I might write a little bit on it. I might talk it, like spitball it with like a friend or my partner or whatever. But I'm going to get connected to, what does this have to do with me? And when have I experienced this? Now I'm in the story. I'm in the connection. And I'm not in the spin of my mind anymore, because I'm connected personally to what I'm talking about in the song. So that's another great way to get out of the spin and the overthinking in your mind, and to get back into that feeling of the moment of singing freely. And then the last tip, one of my favorite mindset hacks to really connect mind and body, to get them on the same page with each other, is to learn how to tap into present moment awareness. So if you've come to any of our 7-day online masterclass series, like we give you a meditation to learn how to connect to the present moment of your mind and your body. But here's where it's really important. See, when you're overthinking, the overthinking comes from the mind not being in the present moment. It comes from your mind in that moment of singing, either spinning out on the past, the last audition you went to that didn't go well, the last recording session where you felt like you just didn't get the takes you needed, the last high note you sang where you cracked, the last time somebody told you that your sound wasn't good enough, or whatever it may be, right? So you're in the past, like reliving and respinning and replaying all those times that made you feel less than, insecure, unworthy, not good enough. Or you're in the future tripping out over what's going to come. How's the high note going to go? What's going to happen when I get the audition? Am I going to be good enough? Am I going to ever be able to quit this day job? Am I going to ever be able to make a full-time living as a singer? Am I going to have to be at this office job that I hate for the rest of my life? Or am I going to prove my parents right, who told me that it's impossible to make a living as a singer, and I don't want to prove them right? Am I going to die old and alone with my 10 cats, having never realized my dream? Like, you think I'm kidding, guys? I'm not kidding. Like, this is where the spin of the subconscious mind goes when it's future tripping. This is what we call future tripping, tripping out on the future that hasn't happened yet, whether it's a minute from now and the high note you have to sing, or 20 years from now dying alone with your cats because you didn't achieve your dream. Don't get me wrong, I love cats, but you get it, okay? So in either of those scenarios, you're not in the present moment with your body, your mind, the story you're telling, your sound, your vibration, your energy. You're shaming yourself and re-spinning out over the past, what happened last time, or you're tripping out over the future because you don't know what's going to happen next time. But the mind tends to want to go to either of those two places unless you train it how to stay here in the present moment. Okay. And so one of the ways that you can learn how to do that is by meditating. And I know you guys are going to be like, oh, but it's so hard and I don't know how to sit and I don't know how to, it's fine. Nobody knows how to meditate until they start doing it. And there's many, many apps. You can go on Insight Timer, and Insight Timer is a great app on I think it's for iPhone and the Google phone and all of that. Like, so find it if you need a little guidance. Otherwise, just literally start small. That's how I did it. I mean, I've been a meditator for over a decade now, but when I was first learning, it was hard for me to sit too with the quiet of my own mind, because my mind didn't know how to stay present. It wanted to go to the past. It wanted to go to the future. It wanted to go on my to-do list. It wanted to reframe, and so you just need to start in small increments. So I would literally I started with 6 minutes, and I would set 6 minutes on my phone, and I would sit. And this was not a guided meditation. I would just close my eyes, and I sat in the same place in front of the same window every morning. I did it for 6 minutes until I could stay present, witnessing my body, witnessing my thoughts. And I would drift. I'd go to my to-do list. I'd go to rehashing the fight that I had with my ex-husband, and learn how to witness that and pull myself back into the present moment. And then it wasn't so hard to sit for 6 minutes. And then I increased it. I did 9 minutes. I did that for a while. And then I increased it to 15 minutes. So you guys, the reason why this is important is because if you're somebody who finds that you're just so in your head when you sing, your body is reacting to what's going on when you're overthinking. And it is creating circumstances in your body that then sabotage your technique and sabotage the sound and sabotage your talent and your potential from what you would otherwise be able to create, especially in those moments that count. So learning how to be present for yourself in the moment. And it has to start when you're not singing, because it's a lot harder to do when you are singing if you don't have an experience of doing it when you're not. And so these are 3 things that we coach our singers in the intensive program on all the time that are really successful hacks for how to stop overthinking and just come back to your technique and sing freely in a way that feels good and sounds good and makes an impact on the audience. So this has been our Pro Singer career. What am I talking about? This is our Pro Singer Success Collective tip for today. And I'm going to put in the chat, if those of you are interested in learning more about our method and what we do here. If you've maybe come to some of our workshops, or you have done our Be Bulletproof Singer training or other things, and you're like, you know what? Like, I'm ready to kick this up a notch. I've been stagnating at this level for a while now. And I recognize that if I want a different result, then I'm going to have to train differently. If you recognize it, you've been training the same way for a long time and you're just not breaking through those barriers in your technique, the barriers in your thinking, the barriers in what results you're getting from your auditions, recordings, performances, then book a call with me. And now, you guys, this call is for us to get clear on the big things that are getting in the way, have a conversation, talk about the gap between where you are and where you want to go. And if I think, that we can help you, I will share our step-by-step strategy that we use with singers in our intensive training program, and we'll see if it's a fit for you. And if it is, then great. Come work with us. If it's not, that's okay too. But a word, okay? Because this call is not for everyone. This is not for new singers who have never had, any kind of training in the past, where you've never invested in your training. You're not out there recording, auditioning, performing. This is not for newbies, okay? Or people who are just not serious. This is for singers who are doing the hustle, who are serious about getting where you want to go with your voice. You've trained, you've tried things, you're just not seeing the results of that in the form of the consistent voice and the impact and the career that you want from it. And so if that's you, I'm going to put a link in the chat after this, and on YouTube, you can watch it. I'll put it in the comments for you guys, so that you can get on my call calendar, and we'll see if working with me and my team is something that would actually benefit you, and we'll talk it out. All right, you guys. So go forth, use your tools, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.